or season 2025, like league just
or
switched to.
season two, so people know there was a season one.
That's true. Okay. All right. All right, we're not starting with you fucking putting a razor blade on your face. Now you do look like a serial killer. What's going on over there? Maybe you shouldn't be left alone for this long.
How'd
Not
you
a
know they left
fucking
me alone?
got it because you told us. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome back to the Gambling Racket year-end celebration of 2024. My name is Ben, and once again, I'm joined by my co-hosts Vic and Chris, the card god, to recap our first year of the podcast, fellas. We made it. We had a really eventful year in tennis as a whole. We're planning on covering all that today, covering our wins and losses, covering what we can look forward to moving forward, and just kind of reassuring you, our viewers, as to that we're committed to this process, this podcast, to making you money, to fighting the bookies. Sorry, going to war with the bookies, according to Victor's hat.
That's right. We're going to war with the bookie in 2025. So come along for the ride, motherfuckers.
And overall, just kind of making sure you stay informed for your tennis gambling needs. We are the place to find out the latest and greatest as far as finding angles into how you can manage your money while you successfully bet on professional tennis. So, fellas, we've got kind of a few things to cover this episode as we roll into the new year, but I wanted to start things off with kind of a quick recap, a personal recap. I want to hear from you what your highlight of 2024 was as it relates to tennis. It could be professional tennis, it could be your gambling successes or losses. Maybe your losses are a highlight, but what was 2024 all about for you in the tennis gambling world? Vic, I'm going to kick it over to you first.
I think 2024, looking back on it, I would say it's changing the guard year, right? Fucking Nadal retired. We got his last French Open. Djokovic completed tennis, got the gold medal on one knee, 5, 6 weeks after tearing his meniscus, came back and won the gold medal on one knee. So like, I know he's going to play slams this year, and Andy Murray's his coach, and we'll probably talk about that later. That Andy Murray is going to coach him in the Australian Open, but I don't see him like being as like seriously competitive as he was previously. Like he's This is like of the back nine, we're on like the back two. You know what I mean? Like maybe he's got another year, 2 years left. I think like we're definitely end of the Djokovic era. Like I
Wow.
think maybe he didn't win a Grand Slam last year, maybe 2 years in a row now, like no Grand Slams. I did my 2025 projections. I don't have him winning one in 2025. So yeah, I definitely think 2024, end of the era, the big four, the big three, whatever you want to call them, that's gone. And now we've got the chaos era. So that's when we're gonna make the money, baby.
Which one of you guys sent the meme to the group chat the other day about like 2025 tennis predictions, and it included Djokovic winning Australia and then Andy Murray telling the media, finally got to get my hands on one of these.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you? That was a good
Yeah.
tweet. Um, yeah, good kind of recap there. Just the overarching themes. When I think about it, I definitely think about this is kind of Joker's year to me. He not only did he get that Australian Open, the Olympic gold that he really wanted, he's been chasing after for a while, but he just seemed to kind of like let loose and just start really looking like he's enjoying life outside of tennis as well.
And he
If
fired everybody, right? He fired all his coaches, and he,
that's right,
he just kind of was rolling solo. And
he,
then Andy Murray was
he
like, "Hey, bro, I got time. I got time."
business side of the house is gone. Now the party
Yeah,
side comes in. They can kind of, like you said, play the 17th and 18th holes over maybe the next 2 years and enjoy themselves. So I'm happy for Joker. That definitely this 2024 seemed like his year for me as well. But I think my biggest highlight was that we actually made it. I remember Vic, you told us this episode one, or at least while we were planning episode one, that most podcasts don't make it past like episode seven, I think. So when we hit
yeah.
episode eight, I was like, "Oh shit, we're doing it!" And we're in the 20s now. We're planning season two in 2025. And Vic, you told it again. Another thing you told us about right before we started filming is that Andy Roddick just signed his podcast with Vox. So, man, we might be the next up and comers.
Yeah,
So,
there's gold in these hills, boys. There's gold in these hills, right?
and we got
Tennis
shovels.
gambling is very niche. I don't. There's one, maybe two other ones. We're definitely in the premier tennis gambling podcast of North Texas. So, yeah, I mean, at least in the Dallas area. So,
Wow. Wow.
just
Okay.
here,
All right.
Yeah,
Um, good to know. At least you got to start somewhere, right?
that's right. Yeah,
All right,
Man,
Chris.
Regardless of origins.
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
I need you to dig into the time machine back to January 2024. And we need to talk about our dark horses.
Oh, we're getting there.
We're
You're skipping ahead. All right, maybe I should share the script with you. I don't know if you'd read it if I did,
well,
but
no, it's okay. I know we're gonna talk about it later, but that is one thing that I want to introduce right now. The dark horse race has concluded, and I think that's gonna be fun to talk about. We definitely have two highly visible tennis players that had a couple of scandals this year. We'll get into that in a little bit. And then I think Vic kind of covered it, changing of the guard. I think Joker could definitely get another Grand Slam next year. I don't necessarily agree with that statement, but everything else, it's kind of the changing of the guard. You got Sinner kind of establishing himself, and now you've got Alcaraz, Fritz, Zverev, Casper Ruud, even all coming on.
Casper Ruud, even how
did you
fucking dare you throw on him like an
did you hear the
afterthought?
pain? Did you hear the pain in his voice when he said sinner?
Casper Ruud, even. What are you talking about? Casper Ruud is ATP final multiple times. Who the fuck are you to? He's not a throw-in. Casper Ruud's not a throw-in.
Oh man, this dude went from
I was
praising.
giving him credit for having a good year and coming on into the top tier. So I don't know why you interpreted that negatively. I'm saying he's top tier now.
Always has been. Hashtag Rude Boys.
Oh, please,
Hashtag Rude Boys.
you just fucking had such vitriol in your voice, in your tone when you were talking about him just now, and now you want to flip it around and throw a hashtag at us for rude boys. Are you on his side or not, Victor?
Yeah, I'm on. I was mad that Chris was throwing him in as an afterthought. He mentioned him after.
Oh,
Listen, I'm
hey,
just
getting to mention
saying,
it all.
his last match against Center, 6-2, 6-1, absolute slaughter. So
Yeah,
I mean,
and where were they
the
playing?
numbers
They were
speak for
playing in
themselves.
Turin, right? With the the ATP, end of the year final. Yeah.
Wow, okay, a little bitterness there. All right. Yeah, that's all definitely things that I've highlighted this year for sure, Chris. Uh I kind of mentioned it just in passing there, but a little bit of disdain in your voice when you mentioned Sinner. Why is that? You want to share with the fans? I know if anyone's following or if anyone is following your social media, they're probably already familiar with your stance here, but what's going on with Sinner?
I think that he might have cheated. It says it right on the tube that this is gonna, be a problem for him, and they chose to use it. And then the guy doesn't miss any tour time. They do
He has a
the whole
trial date in
investigation.
February.
They do the whole investigation behind closed doors. They announce it after everything's already taken care of. He didn't have to undergo any public scrutiny like other major stars would have, and it just really shows a lack of judgment on everyone's part, that people are being treated differently depending on what their ATP tour rank is.
He has a trial date in February after the Australian Open because the governing body appealed the no suspension or whatever. So he does have potential suspension on the coming still.
And would that suspension have occurred without the public outcry that he was treated so differently?
So he is facing public scrutiny.
Now, but for the
Well, I mean, I just
the
listened
months
to
long investigation, it was hidden from view. Whereas other people, they throw them out into the public light and they're guilty until proven innocent.
that's
I can't necessarily say I think that investigations into these kind of things should be made public every step of the way. It seems a little odd. I think I think organizations are allowed to investigate internally before making results public, so people aren't jumping to conclusions before they have
Well,
all the
then that's how you
facts.
get
It
the
shows a
situation.
very big lack of transparency. And
Yeah.
Who
then
cares? It's tennis. It's not the government.
when the punishment doesn't fit the crime, compared to past punishments, then you have to even, question it even further.
Well,
Why the
that's a
lack of
separate issue.
transparency? I think the lack of transparency, if they were transparent from the beginning, then it wouldn't have felt like he was treated so differently.
That's
But
like the
then
Iga then,
I think
Chris,
that
where
makes everything
Iga said
worse.
she was taking personal time when she missed, when she was actually suspended, right? Iga's like when she was missing the tournament in Wuhan. Yeah, we still play tennis in Wuhan. Yeah, we do a lot of things in Wuhan. But anyway, when Iga missed Wuhan, she was saying it was because of personal reasons, right? When it's really because she was provisionally suspended by by the doping agencies. So yeah, I definitely think they need to not be able, they need to be more transparent, like what's going on in the process.
I do not see the need, nor does any other professional sports organization feel the need to fill the public in every step of the way while they investigate and decide punishments for players. I
When
think
some
at the end of the day, they need to release everything and show everybody when everything is said and done. But saying, hey, we think Yannick failed the test this morning. We'll let you know in 2 months when the investigation's done. That's 2 months of just people speculating and throwing garbage around when no one knows anything and thinking that he did something wrong when maybe he didn't.
which he did.
Well, yeah, in this case, obviously he popped negative where he popped
positive.
positive, but just as an example, and tennis player A, hey, they had a failed test this morning, and then it's 2 months of he's a cheater, he's a fucking scumbag, blah blah blah, and then it turns out 2 months later when the investigation's said and done, oh, the test was faulty, it got tampered with, or it was a whole bad batch of tests. Like it could be anything. I don't think no professional sports organization does this. I don't know why we're expecting tennis to keep us
The
filled in.
NFL, they suspend you and then you can appeal. If
Yeah,
you if
that's after
you fail,
the NFL's the
So
process doesn't take as long.
why was Simona Halep banned for 4 years?
well,
Well,
she
yeah,
I mean, she
this is
had
a
way
different
higher
issue.
level.
How
It's
punishments are
different.
applied and like
Yeah.
the discrepancies between lengths of punishments and severity of punishments is absolutely something that I agree with you on and is not been applied evenly. But the process being transparent, as long as it comes out in the end, that's what every organization does, and
I
I
think
think
the
is
whole
fine.
process is fucked up though, right? Like from the jump, like the way they rolled it out, the way they lied about it, the way they are releasing the information on how they decide punishments, it all seems super fucked up. Like I was listening to Kyrgios on another podcast, and he was talking about Elias Ymer. You remember that dude, the
Yeah,
Swede? He got
yeah.
suspended 2 years for fucking missed test. He didn't even fail a test, but he missed three tests, and he just got his whole fucking career ruined for 2 years, like at his peak earning potential, gone because he missed tests. And fucking Sinner, he spent like probably like 80 grand. Iga said she spent 80 grand on like the lawyer that like fast tracked her appeal with the doping agencies and all her shit, right? So if there's definitely like the more money you have, the more justice you get. I guess that's the way it is everywhere with everything. But
Yeah, I have no issues with any of that. Again, my issue is with the process being transparent. I don't think they need to give us day-to-day updates. That's not the problem. It's how
I
they do
think
the investigations, and which we see at the end of the process. We can see it all at the end from A to Z, everything that they did, and that's fine. We don't need to be updated along the way and have all this like guessing about what's coming next and speculation and just like shit flinging on the
yeah,
internet.
but there's
There's enough of
speculation no
that
matter
being
what.
done.
There's
What?
speculation no matter what. People are going to speculate
Yeah,
no matter what.
but it's worse. At least you have like a conclusion, at least a conclusion that the tennis organization has come to when everything is released.
I just want to go on
I'm with
record of
Chris
saying
though.
I never said I expected day-to-day updates. I expected some form of transparency before the final determination.
But I don't think that's a good
That's
thing.
I I
And
so
like I just said, at
we
least to
agree to
two
disagree
months,
on that.
at
We
least to
disagree.
multiple months, a long time of people just throwing false accusations around or baseless accusations, no evidence, and just tarnishing people's like imagine Iga showing up to events or tennis player A, like I was saying before, showing up to events during those 2 months and fans just throwing shit at him, calling him a cheater, and it turns out they did nothing wrong.
I don't condone any of that.
But that would
Yeah.
happen. People do that. Please watch the U.S. Open, and you'll see that even the nice guys get shit thrown at them.
That's crazy to me.
People don't get shit thrown at them at the U.S. Open.
They
Yeah,
do.
I don't know
It's
what
one of the
he's
rowdier tournaments of the year.
Djokovic had a fucking metal water bottle fall and hit him on that, but that was an accident.
Wasn't that? I think it was in Italy.
Was that? Oh, you're right. That was in Italy. That was in Italy.
Yeah, yeah. That's obviously now the fans of the U.S. Open are rowdy and can be mean, and we see it. We see it throughout the entire season. Fans
I think
get
it's dumb
into it
not
with
to
tennis
say
players.
not to tell people information because people might take it badly and do bad things. That's the stupidest reasoning I've ever heard to not give people information. They're gonna do stupid.
They're going to get the information eventually. Do your investigation internally so it can't be tampered with. Like, why would you progressively let anybody get out ahead of an investigation by giving them it?
Bro, all these international
No, this is dumb.
anti-doping
This is dumb.
agencies are fucking retard scumbags. Like Dana White fired them from doing
Yeah,
the
that organization's bad. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tampering with investigations and just overall having a very bad public policy about putting information out when it's not like a complete picture. I don't think that's a good policy. Nobody does that. No organization does that for a good reason. I don't know why you guys think they should start.
I'm with you, Chris.
He's so passionate about this.
Because
He's
it doesn't
so
make any
passionate about
sense.
withholding information for people.
Why doesn't the NFL do it? Why doesn't MLB do it? Why does nobody do it?
Moving on to
The NFL does it.
No, they
moving on to
don't.
people who haven't.
The NFL does their whole organization in like a day. They issue fines on Monday.
Let's
There's
move
not
on
much
some
to
people who
investigate. Everything's all
haven't
done on
gotten caught
TV.
If you fail a drug test in the NFL, they suspend you immediately, and they announce it immediately, and then you have the opportunity to
investigation done. That's it. They're not investigating further. Hey, you failed a drug test. It's over.
No, you can appeal. You can appeal.
Yeah, okay, that's great. You can appeal.
Yeah,
that's not how tennis is doing it, though.
Anyway, all right, then we've established our stances.
No, we saw this year that they don't do that same thing. They took how long between he was negative and then they gave him a punishment?
No, he was provisionally suspended. You're provisionally suspended the minute you fucking fail.
So okay, and no one knew about it, right?
Yeah, so nobody.
Because they did an investigation.
No, they should have announced that he was provisionally suspended.
Yeah, you're supposed to announce that they're provisionally suspended.
Are they supposed to announce that? Where is that written?
No, that's what they should do.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. They don't do it for a reason.
Yeah, your reasoning is dumb. That's what me and Chris are saying.
Okay, whatever. There's obviously there's no convincing you guys.
I think
you're just mad. No, you're just mad at Yannick Sinner, Chris. We know you have a bone to pick with him. Vic doesn't trust anybody here. He's not going to see the other side of it. I don't understand why you guys think it's a good idea.
Can I talk about six players who didn't cheat this year real quick? So we had six players this year.
Chris, hold on. Let's talk about because I listened to two things I want to get your guys' take. I know how you feel, Chris, but Kyrgios, he was doing an interview and he said that he thinks Sinner is a fucking cheater. He thinks Sinner and Iga are cheaters, blah, blah, blah. And then I was listening to Andy Roddick's podcast, and he was saying that the levels that they popped for were below performance enhancing, right? So he does not consider them cheaters. He doesn't consider them dopers. He considers them unlucky because of they happened to fail the test, even though they weren't cheating on purpose, right? And they got no performance enhancing benefit. Chris, I know you think that they're cheaters and they're fucking cheaters forever. Ben, what do you think? Who's right, Andy Roddick or Chris?
That is not where I stand.
Wait, then,
who's
Chris
right, Andy Roddick or Chris?
Please let me rebuttal.
Yeah, you can't call him out like that and then give it to me, Vic. That's not fair.
Are you with Kyrgios?
I'm actually really psyched to learn that Andy Murray said that, because my point was it's a little bit of a coincidence that both of these players were ranked number one this year and just so happened to fail a performance-enhancing drug test, right? So, when you got two data points there that are pointing in one direction, I'd be foolish not to at least consider it as part of why they were winning, right? So I did take a very hard stance, and I hated Yannick Sinner for the special treatment that he got. And for beating Carlos Alcaraz a bunch of times when I bet against him. So, there's a lot of personal and professional grudges there. But I'm not holding any of those into 2025. If Andy Murray says that the guy's not a cheater, then I say he's not a cheater, and I hope Joker beats his butt next year.
Andy Roddick.
Sorry, my bad.
That's okay.
I
Correction, Andy Roddick.
I
Go ahead.
agree. I agree with the opinion that a lot of people have that there is unfair or unevenly distributed treatment across players in the ATP in general with this kind of situation. Definitely, I think Sinner and Iga both got preferential treatment, which is wrong and should not happen. I as far as Sinner specifically and what Roddick and Kyrgios are talking about being cheaters, I don't see any reason why the level of substances that were in Sinner's blood would cause him to like jump Carlos Alcaraz in skill level, jump anybody in skill level. He is a super talented guy. He's number one in the world on his own merits. He did not need any kind of performance enhancing drug to get there. It genuinely sounds like
Well,
it
the
was just
level was so low, it had no performance enhancing benefit, right? That's
right.
So, guys, the point I want to make, and you need to clip this, is that just because the test that they tested positive for was that low, that's after they took diuretics. That's after they hydrated and diluted with water. That's after they took any masking agents. If they were trying to cheat, they were trying to make this test look so low that it didn't pop positive. So this just happened to be above the threshold for a positive, but that doesn't mean that's the total dose that was taken. So you can't say definitively that this person's performance was not enhanced. And then you add in the second data point that, oh my God, Jannik Sinner has 8 singles titles this year, 4 more, double the next closest player, Carlos Alcaraz. Like, it is something to consider.
So you don't even believe the reason they gave or like the story that they provided as to how the substance got into his system?
Hey, man, if you came home and your wife told you that that guy tripped and fell over and his penis just went inside of her, would you believe that story? Because it sounds a lot like the one Sinner's trying to sell. Yeah, my doctor was giving the cream to someone else, and then he had the residue on his finger, and it must have got in a cut, and then the molecules got in my bloodstream, and then I just happened to get tested right after that. Bro, give me a break with that.
So you just don't believe in topical ointments either?
I don't believe that.
Look at him, man. He's got dry skin. This guy doesn't lotion up. This guy don't lotion up.
I don't know. It just feels like
there's not enough
I don't know enough about like I don't know enough about the daily life of a trainer, an athletic trainer for a professional tennis player to understand like, is that a plausible thing? But by everything that I've been able to read as far as amount in his system, it seems to match up with like, hey, that's probably the amount that might get into your system via like a wound on your skin if you're applying topical ointments.
So if you believe Ray Lewis had a fall guy, Shohei Ohtani had a fall guy, how do we know this isn't the fall guy for Jannik Sinner?
I mean,
Shohei's guy does seem like a pretty big scumbag. That guy does seem like he was stealing a lot of money from Shohei. Ray Lewis is a murderer. We can say that on this podcast.
Yeah,
allegedly, bro. You gotta say allegedly. I cannot get sued by Ray.
You think Ray's gonna sue you? Damn, he's gonna have to sue half of Twitter then, because I think a lot of people are saying that still.
But that's all I'm saying. If you can believe those guys have fall guys, why can't you believe Jannik's got a fall guy?
I just like to see evidence. I don't. My experience in 2024, it doesn't appear that any entity in the professional tennis world is super fucking capable of doing anything really that well besides
apparently
playing
no
tennis.
Entity on earth is very good at being honest either. So
I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Is that you too? Are you a big liar? You're an entity on earth.
That's true.
We've talked about this multiple times. It's just like not only what we were talking about earlier in this episode, that these testing organizations are pretty incompetent and have bad processes, but like tennis as a whole just does a bad job with its product. I don't think that they provide, we saw multiple events this year where they don't provide like adequate accommodations for the players, players showing up doing stupid shit, just not conducting themselves, like teams not conducting themselves professionally. nothing screams to me that like we can pull off this huge conspiracy and have a fall guy and like get this shitty ass testing organization on board with our story. Nothing tells me that there's any near
Why
that.
would you need any of their involvement? The only involvement you need is Yannick Sinner to say, "Hey, I failed that test. You're going to say this story, and we're going to take care of you on the back end."
I think you need a little bit more involvement to pull the wool over the eyes of the regulators and just have them believe you. You think they're just like, "Hey, Yannick, did you do it? Oh no, okay, thanks."
Do you think that the tour makes more money with Yannick Sinner being called a cheater, or makes more money with Yannick Sinner?
This is just conspiracy.
No, I mean, it's not conspiracy. They make way more fucking money if he's not a cheater.
No, yeah, obviously. That's not what I'm alluding. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, that's the only that drives literally every decision that literally everybody makes is how much money the tour is making. Yeah, obviously Yannick makes a lot of money.
You're the one that put forward the idea that it was a giant conspiracy and why would they be involved? And I'm giving you points as to why they're being involved, and you're saying conspiracy theory. So
it is a conspiracy theory.
But they're legitimate, real world reasons that when there are millions of dollars in your number one player at stake, that you might have a vested interest in also being like, that's believable, Yannick. We believe you that your trainer did it.
Okay, providing like motive is not the same as giving me evidence that they're cheating on purpose.
Ask any detective on earth if motive is part of their investigation, Ben.
Motive's a pretty big.
Okay.
Wow. I mean, dude,
this guy didn't watch
Law & Order. Oh my God, guys.
Give
me some fucking facts. Yes, the motive there. I agree that the motive exists. Give me some evidence. Give me some fucking evidence that they're doing it. They could have motivation to do a lot of things.
Hey, Ben, who killed JFK? Who killed JFK, Ben?
There's just no, I don't understand. You have all of these different organizations that have to like verify this fake story, apparently, that you believe that Yannick's cheating. Vic, you don't even believe Yannick was cheating. So I don't know why you're on Chris's side here. But you have all of these different organizations that need to be working in conjunction, and for nobody to slip and say, "Oh yeah, actually Yannick was just lying and we're just doing it to boost our revenue numbers." We've seen that none of these people are competent at all. Yet you believe that they're all organizing this grand conspiracy.
See, so this is where you're misunderstanding. Yannick and his doctor come up with the story. Yannick's camp, everybody that's on Yannick's side comes up with the story of how this happened. Then they sell this story to people who have a vested interest that would rather the case be he didn't cheat. So they're more likely to believe it in that scenario, is all I'm saying here. That's all I'm saying is that
yes, people lie. Great. I would hope that any competent organization, any reasonably competent organization does more than just ask the cheater if he's lying and then actually do some more investigating, whatever that looks like. I don't know what their full process looks like, but it's not just, oh, well, all of Yannick's camp says he didn't cheat, so I guess he didn't cheat.
That's literally what happened.
You read the
came from the ointment.
Okay.
So that's literally what happened.
So you know what the entire investigation looks like. You can tell me everything they looked into besides interviews with the team. What else did they do?
You want to talk about evidence?
What did they do, Chris? This is your chance to prove that you know.
The evidence is the tube of ointment that says this will pop you positive.
Okay, so you don't know. You don't know what they did in the investigation. You can say no. That's fine. I don't know. I
was not a part of any investigation.
Okay, great.
I barely even read the news article.
So no, I'll answer for you. No, because you don't want to say no. I don't know. Thank you. That's what I'm saying, is that we don't know, and that all we have right now is I think that they're liars, and that's it. I just think that they're liars. That's your
we have the evidence. Fact that a test is not an indication of the total dose that was taken. So the result of the test is not the total dose that was taken. That was all that was excreted during that one test. So whether it was urine or blood, right? That's it. That's the level.
How often do they do blood tests in the season?
But he could have definitely done more than that.
Get randomly tested
for blood too.
Yeah, it's just random.
Damn, I would think urine's more frequent. I don't know though.
I have no idea. I'm sure they do both.
They're going to start next year. They're going to start making them pee in bottles between sets.
They might already do that.
The urinalysis tent right on the court.
Depending on the venue, they might already be doing that.
All right, so can we move on now?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move
Yeah.
on.
So are there any other, Vic, I feel like you might have brought one up. Are there any other big topics you thought pertinent to discuss that maybe have come up over the past few months while we've been on hiatus?
Yeah. 2024 came to a conclusion, and we have 6 players who had a great breakthrough year, winning both an ATP 250 and an ATP 500. And I would like to tell you about those players a little bit.
All right, go for it. Do it.
We got Sebastian Baez, Clay, ATP 500, ATP 250. We got the Demon, Alex de Minaur, also got an ATP 500, ATP 250, of course. Draper, back with an ATP 500 win. He had a great year. And then we got two Frenchmen. We got 2 Frenchmen. Can you tell me the 2 Frenchmen that won this year?
Hugo Humbert.
And
Arthur Fees.
nope.
He won a 250. Oh, yeah.
Perricard got himself a
Peshti
500
Perricard.
and a 250, as well as Vic's favorite,
Wow.
Casper Ruud, and your American boy, Taylor Fritz.
Vic, is he still your favorite? I can't tell anymore, to be honest.
I love Casper Ruud.
But is he your favorite?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. Okay. Not even American. All right.
I mean, Casper and Bublik are 1 and 2 in my heart for sure.
That's true.
So
Ooh, yeah, wow, I can't believe I forgot about Bublik. And I can't believe you just very casually said, yeah, he's my favorite. Without
I
even
do want to
thinking.
point out Arthur Fee won 2 500s this year, but no 250s.
Wow. Well, we're not done seeing the likes of Fees, so we'll get to that in a second. But before we actually do talk about the next gen finals, Chris, you mentioned this at the top. Let's get into it. I've crunched the numbers. The young guns of 2024, which was probably a misnomer when we first came out with the idea, because
I thought
Chris
it was dark
chose,
horses.
Vic called it the young guns, but you chose Berrettini, who is like 28 years old. So I don't know how young that is. But I have the results, boys. Are you ready to hear them?
Yes.
do it.
All right. Vic, I'll start with you since you're not going to enjoy this. You're going to need some time to cool off. Your pick was Dino Prismic, who came into 2024 with an ATP ranking of 186, and he currently sits at 292. He went down in the rankings by 106 positions. Not a good look for Dino. Also, I don't feel like we saw a lot of action from him getting closer to the second half of the year.
He had an injury in the middle of the season to back half of the season, and he was making a run to make the next gen final, and I guess he did not make the cut. He was right underneath the cut line, didn't make the next gen final this year. They fucking filmed one of those Journey to Jeddah episodes for him though on the YouTube channel.
Really?
So there's an episode Dino Prismic Journey to Jeddah on the YouTube.
And he didn't
he didn't make it.
His flight got canceled. Damn. Well,
that's
Chris,
not a good look, Vic.
Chris, you had a substantially better result. Like I said, Chris was Matteo Berrettini. He started the season.
A real young gun. Former number 4 in the world.
Dark horse.
Okay, somebody's bitter. I told you he was going to need some time to cool off.
Young gun there.
He started the season, the 2024 calendar year, at 124. And you were sweating it at the beginning of the year because he wasn't playing until we got to grass season. But he currently sits at ATP number 34, a huge move up, 90 places. So, yeah, I was sweating that when I crunched that number because I did mine last. I was on Brandon Nakashima, the American from Southern California with the Japanese last name, which is confusing to Chris. He started the season at 127, and he currently sits just below Berrettini at number 38, a movement of 93 positions. I edged you out by 3 positions, Chris. Well done.
Edgelord. What an edgelord. This was your fault, Vic. If you would have got one of your people above, I would have only lost by 2.
Nice try, boys. I'm gonna celebrate with a little sip of champagne here.
Dang,
Celebrate my
man.
victory. Feels good.
Who finished outside of the top 40 that I can blame this on?
Honestly, I feel like Joker. This was my year. I feel like I won gold, boys.
All right.
Are we
Well,
doing this again next year? How did you guys like it?
Yeah,
all
let's
right.
do it again next year.
All
Now
right.
that I understand
You
it's
can,
not young tennis.
you're gonna double down on Dino now that he's got a lower starting.
Yeah, that's not a terrible strategy if
Dibs
you
on
do think
Dino.
No, I
if you
definitely
want to
do
set
that.
more stipulations, Vic, we can do that. We can maybe set an age limit if you want.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll win in any conditions now. I understand the rules better. So
Wow. Wow. Wow, that's big talk. All right, 2025 should be exciting then. We'll be sure to include who our picks are in episode 1 of season 2, which will come out early next year.
yeah, it'll come
Um
out. So we've got I guess upcoming schedule. We have the ATP Next Gen Finals next week, like we talked about. And then also it starts like December 29th, I think, is the United Cup and Brisbane in those Australian tourneys. So yeah, a little bit before 2025 actual, So we set the fiscal year here on the first tournament start date. So the fiscal year that starts December 29th. So make sure you tell your accountants that the fiscal year is starting December 29th.
all right.
And so put all your losses in before December 29th. So, move those losses forward.
We'll have to talk about logistics for filming an episode then, since it's right in the middle of the holidays there. But yeah, we can get to that. We'll at least be in communication with the community somehow to talk about that event once we get a little bit closer to
I
it.
have my phone with me everywhere I go. I can record everywhere.
That's wonderful. I'm really happy for you, Chris. I think you just passed out. All right. Well, that being said, having mentioned Dino, having mentioned the road to Jeddah, let's jump into it. Vic, want to give us, well, I do we feel like we need an intro to the tournament? It's next gen finals is for players that are world top 20 and under single players of sorry, the top 20 and under single players on the ATP tour are eligible to compete in the next gen ATP finals in Jeddah. So, Vic, take us through who we can expect to see this year.
All right. This year we got coming in as the highest ranked young gun here is Arthur Fils, a Frenchman, currently 20th. Then Alex Michelson, he's 42nd in the ATP rankings. Jakob Mensik is 48th. Jerry Drips, 50th. Leonard Tien, the American, 123. Luca Van Ass, 128. Nishesh Basavaredi is 139. And
Who is also American despite his name?
also American. That's right. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. And Yao Fonseca, who is not an American, he is Brazilian. So yeah,
Brazil, the only representative from the great country of Brazil.
Had a
and
lot of
they've
hype
done the
though.
draw. So let me read the draw real quick. So it's going to be Fees, Mensick, Fonseca in one group together. Oh wait, they only listed three. Okay. So the Fees comes in the tournament as a strong favorite with a much higher ranking than blue group rivals Mensick, Tien, and Fonseca. So it's Fees, Mensick, Tien, and Fonseca in one group. And then the other group is Jerry Shang. What's it called? Jesus, Jerry Shang,
Jerry.
Michelson, Van Ass, and Boswell Ready. So
What do you got against Van Ash? Well, did he do something to you?
no, I'm just picking on him. I'm just being a dick.
Damn.
So I
Chris, what
think
do you
Blue
think?
Group's definitely got the two best players, right? I think my two favorites to win it. I don't see any lines out yet for it, but my favorite to win it is actually Jakob Mensik. Um, his season got derailed a little bit in the middle of the year by some elbow injuries, but I mean, dude, this guy picked up four top 10 wins last year. Beat Rublev twice, beat Dimitrov twice. So I definitely think he's like the highest ceiling guy here. I mean, that's crazy to say. I know Fees is 20th, but I think Mensik is definitely my pick to win this one.
Well, how many tournaments did Mr. Minsick actually win last year despite those upsets?
He didn't win any tournament. So he made the final.
Ooh.
He made the final in Qatar though. So he made the
Okay.
final in Qatar.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go
You
with
know
Mr.
that if
Arthur
you watched
Fee.
our YouTube
I'm gonna go
series,
ahead and watch.
shorts.
I knew the answer. I just wanted to point out, despite those upsets, he's never actually won a tournament. So great pick, Vic. Hopefully he breaks through for you. I'm going with the favorite here, Arthur Fee. Only won the win 2 500s last year. This is definitely 500 level competition. I can see him running the table here. I think it's a Fee Michelson final with Fee in 2 sets.
Wow.
Mickelson final. All right.
I am also on Arthur Feast here. I think this is a great opportunity for him to shine and really set up a strong 2025 season. I think if anyone's going to take advantage of that and just maybe has the mindset to do that, like to come into the tournament uh, with that on his plate and that kind of goal set for himself, it's Arthur Feast. I think Michelson is still a little too young. Jerry Drip is he's wild card. You never know which Jerry's going to show up. So I just don't have that kind of faith in him. Mensik is a phenomenal player. Vic, I agree with everything that you said. I just too many question marks for me around like his physical readiness to compete at that level. It's just, yeah, we saw some issues with him. He pulled out of a few tournaments in the middle of the season just because he wasn't in that like regular competition fitness yet. So
Elbow
that just,
yeah, he had tennis elbow.
yeah, I don't it leaves too many question marks for me to really be comfortable backing him. I would like to see Joao Fonseca as the only representative of Brazil do well. I know he's had a big following throughout the year as well, so I'm sure
Yeah,
that'll
let's talk
continue in
about
2025.
his drip as well. He wears a pink hat and he has the same corporate sponsor as Iga, the On Cloud. So I just want to call out he's got the same outfit as Iga and he has made us some money in the past. So Fonseca as a dog is always a fun play because that dude shows up in balls.
I
So
hope I hope On changes their kits in 2025. I really did not like the look of them this year and how like clingy they got. Specifically, I'm thinking of Ben Shelton, but just
yeah.
the blue and purple kind of swirl thing just didn't really do it for me. I'm also watching Leonard Chien. He's a East Coast college player. I think he went to like UNC or something like or Wake Forest, so somewhere down there in the Carolinas. So we got to see him this year though, and he had a pretty solid performance. I think he made it a little further than we expected to see him make it in Wilmington. Yeah, I love to see up and coming Americans on tour though, so maybe he can pull off a couple upsets. But I'm with Chris on Arthur Feast.
Wow. All right. So we
And I
talked
will
about
say, Jerry Drip has the fastest average serve in the group. So
Really?
it's an indoor hard court. Might play pretty fast. Jerry's got the highest rated serve of all the group.
Yeah, indoor hardcore, good nice pointing that out, Chris. He's definitely gonna play fast, and I think that's what favors Mensik as well. He's got a pretty big serve. Jerry Dripto, huge serve. Um, Fonseca is like the best clay guy out of the bunch, I would say. Him and Fee, so it doesn't matter. We're on hard court here, but I'm trying to say anything else we want to call out for these young guns. I mean, these are the guys that are always fun to bet on in 2025, right? I mean, you look at their ranks now, four of them are outside the top 100 right now. Three of them are outside the top 40. So like these are guys where if they have a good showing this week, it's going to be fun to bet them in Australia and the Australian Open. Like definitely a lot of potential to set the plate for a good 2025. So yeah, I always think this is a fun tournament to watch.
Awesome. I'm excited just to well, not only wrap up 2024, but see who's looking to make a run early in 2025. One other angle I'm thinking of bringing up for this tournament, why I like Feast is the French seem to do well indoor hardcore early in the season. Right after the Australian Open, we go over to France for Montpellier and a couple others, and the French just do well there. I think that they're probably preparing for that earlier than most. Let's go, Arthur. Let's make some money. We'll tweet out once
What
we do
about the
see
other
some lines.
Frenchman? Are you going to take Luca Van Nash? I
No,
did
No, I just can't. I can't even. I don't want to incur your wrath here. I know you're really mad at him for some reason,
You
so I'm
don't
not
like
even
that
going to bring him
Frenchman?
up.
You don't like that Frenchman?
It's not that I don't like him. I just don't think he has the caliber of play right now that Feast has shown that he can bring to the bigger tournaments.
Yeah, I agree.
So
He ain't
Fee
got that next gear. Yeah.
Arthur Fee is averaging 6.2 aces per match. Next closest is Jerry Drift at 4.6.
all
So
right.
just
I mean,
despite the
definitely, Feast is a class above all these other guys. You can look at it just with his rankings, and like you said, Chris, he won 500 titles. But yeah, I don't know, a small tournament like this where it's 8 guys. I'm gonna go with fucking Mensik. I'm going with the upset.
All right. Well, we'll tweet out once we actually do see odds for this tournament. Hopefully they're posted soon because this kicks off on Wednesday.
yeah.
Yes, Wednesday kicks off Wednesday.
Wednesday
So
to Sunday.
Okay. We'll tweet out our picks again with the actual odds and unit counts. Um, on that note, some things we're exploring moving into 2025, better ways of tracking our bets. The spreadsheet we use right now is effective, but fuck, is it a burden to keep up to date?
I'm going to pick it. I'm gonna go. So when I go home and I meet my sister who axes my beard because I live in a state that's illegal to gamble, I'm
Are
gonna have
you,
some.
yeah,
Whoa.
we have to cut this out. Is this going to be
Whoa.
used against you in a court of law right now? What are we doing here?
Edit this out.
Yeah, pick it. Let's. I don't know if it works for you.
Across state lines?
I don't know what if. I don't know if what you have.
I do not
What
condone
service.
this behavior.
I don't know if what service you have
He was
used Ben
joking.
is on Picket, but I.
1-800-GAMBLER if you have a problem.
There's
How
this
does Pickett
road.
work?
There's this road right on the Oklahoma-Texas border where people park on the side of it so they can put in their bets.
Yeah, they get the cell tower. They get the
Yep.
Oklahoma cell tower. Yeah, I know. I know where that road is. It's like an hour away from my
That
house.
was a test. We're gonna have an intervention.
What yeah, Vic, you're failing on all fronts here. How does Pickett work?
So you link it. You link your gambling account to it, and it'll track it tracks your plus minus. So you don't have to enter anything. You just have to enter
You got to
your
link your account.
yeah. You got to just link your account so that they can see how much money's in your account and like your bet history.
What platforms can you link it to?
All of the good
It
ones.
does DraftKings and FanDuel. Let me look.
That's all the good ones, I guess.
Chris,
No, it does all the major ones.
Chris, do you know about this? Right? Do
Yeah,
you?
it does all of them, but I don't have a tracker because I don't want to know.
Um,
I'm just kidding. I'm going to start it right now for this podcast because my tennis picks are winners. My NFL picks are losers.
Yeah, for
sir,
real.
please. I'll have to look into that. I'm a Bovada better, so it's just DraftKings and FanDuel
I
are not
think
an
you can
option.
I think there's an option to manually enter as well, but then you're in the same situation.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll look into it. I mean, where I live, we also have a FanDuel and a DraftKings sports book
Oh, here's the list. Which one
that
do
I
you
could
use
go
then?
to.
Just to
Bovada.
go in person, that's brutal.
Well, I mean, it could be an option, but I'm not sure. I don't know if when you're even at the sports book, if you can use mobile. I'm
Sorry,
guessing no.
I'm distracted by Casper Reed versus Gail Monfils highlights.
No, Bovada's not on the list,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that sucks. Okay. I'll look for some other options. That's something again we're looking into. We are building up a Discord for the community. We'll see if we can get folks that are interested in more regular updates that maybe are not really partial to like notifications on their phone from Twitter or something like that, and prefer to just maybe chat with other members of the community. We'll
Give
have
some
you
feedback.
a place for you to collab. Maybe we'll do some like live streaming in there or just some community engagement type events throughout the season next year, maybe watch parties, that kind of thing. And a few other surprises coming our way. We want to get a little bit more regular on the YouTube shorts too. If we feel like if we can get those numbers up and into more people's algorithms, we can spread the reach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna be doing we'll do the daily YouTube, we'll call it the Daily Deuce. The Daily Deuce, and we'll film it from the toilet in the morning and take a morning. This is the Daily Deuce, and then you flush the toilet, and then you say your picks for the day.
Wow.
That's pretty good
Um,
ad campaign, right? Thought of that myself. Thought of
yeah, I don't know if I would watch someone take a shit every morning, but maybe I could do every other day. That's a lot of watching other people shit. But I mean, I like the alliteration at least.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, it's Sunday. We're in the middle of the
Good.
NFL. We're wrapping up the NFL season almost, and looking forward to the first ever 12-team college football playoff right on the horizon. Packers are visiting the Seahawks tonight, and I'm in Seattle, so I have to get good and champagned up to make sure I can say some disgusting things to passersby on the street. And because they're all Seahawks fans and I hate them all. So yeah, I've got a big day ahead of me. Anything else to let the or to leave with the viewers before they head into the holidays and the new year?
Yes, yes.
Let's go, Bengals.
Perfect stocking stuffer. Vendetta, the action-packed sequel to Apaches of New York. There's rumors that Leonardo DiCaprio is interested in the screenplay. All right, rumors. I don't know who you heard him from.
Did your sister start the rumors?
Did you write the screenplay or did someone adapt your novel?
Are we throwing your sister under the bus again here?
Yeah.
There is no screenplay.
Apologies in advance to Big Sister.
I'm paying the documentary crew to follow me around. VH1 doesn't want me.
Speaking of which, I haven't got paid for last month of following you around.
Chris, did you tell him you were following him around?
No, his sister hired me.
There you go, Vic. You got a fan club. All right. Well, hey, everyone. Good 2024. Thank you all for joining us. This is just the start of the ride. So get ready for big things in 2025. Stay safe as you sit with family and friends over the holidays and carve up your ham with sharp knives. And yeah, enjoy the time. Hopefully you can relax and really look forward to a successful, a prosperous 2025.
Look out for them drones. Look out for them drones.
Look out for them drones, boy.
Look out for them drones. All right. Thanks again for joining us. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy holidays.
Avita Zang.
Avita Zang. Flipping pigeons. All right. Take care, everyone.